Hello, my name is Aaron Hall. I'm a partner at Joseph and Hall, and I am here today to talk about Biden's new program for undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens. Um, this is pretty exciting. There's a lot of days of negative news in the world of immigration, and this is a day where we have exciting news that's going to potentially change the lives of people and open up a new path to having permanent future stability here together in the United States as a family. So I wanted to talk today about what this program is first. We'll talk about who will benefit. And we are going to talk a little bit about why, in my opinion, it's going to be likely important to file quickly after the period for applications opens up. So, first, you cannot apply for this yet. The announcements came from the White House and the Department of Homeland Security, but they said that they're going to start accepting applications in late summer. We don't even have a date. They gave some general requirements for the program that we will go through here today, but there's going to be more coming out when there's more detail published in the Federal Register, probably in the coming weeks. So we know what we know. We don't know what we don't know, but we kind of have a good idea of the broad strokes of this program, and we'll talk through that. Second, it's just very important that anybody who's considering taking action on this program or not taking action on this program or just wants to know more about it, you have to consult with a qualified immigration attorney. There are going to be, I'm sure, lots of notarios, people who don't do immigration law, offering to help just fill forms. You really need somebody to take a holistic look at your case and your history to make sure that you qualify and that this is the best idea for you. And if so, to make sure that you have somebody who's committed to filing it early in the availability period, which I'm going to address in a little bit. All right. So what is this program? It's called Parole in Place, and it's for spouses of U.S. citizens and sometimes the stepkids of U.S. citizens. And what it's going to do is it's going to first result in 3-year work permits, and then it's going to open up a path for those who did not enter lawfully, who did not enter with a visa. It's going to open up a path for them to get a green card here in the United States without having to leave, often without having to apply for a waiver that they would otherwise have to apply for. So a little bit of background. Usually the general rule, there are exceptions, but the general rule is if you don't enter the country with a visa or if you're not inspected and admitted or paroled into the country, you can't just apply for your green card here in the country based on a family member's petition. You have to leave the country and apply at a consulate abroad. All sounds well and good, except there's a problem. There's a law that was passed in 1996 that says if you have accumulated over 1 year of unlawful presence in the United States and then you leave the country, you're barred from coming back for 10 years. So if somebody wanted to apply based on a marriage to a U.S. citizen and they left the country, they wouldn't be able to come back for 10 years unless they get a waiver. And there is a waiver process, and much of the waiver processes in certain cases can be done here in the United States. However, it's taking, about 4 years just to apply for the waiver, just for that one part. And even when you get the waiver, there's some risk when you go abroad to the consulate that they're going to make some other findings saying that you're ineligible and you can't get your visa to go back to the United States. What this program does is it gives the equivalent of a lawful entry called parole in place to the undocumented spouse of the U.S. citizen. And with that document, in the future, after they get it, they'll be able to just apply for their green card through something called adjustment of status here in the United States without having to leave, and oftentimes without ever having to get that waiver. The requirements that we know, let's go through those so we can start talking about who's going to benefit from these programs. Now, Again, the information that we have comes from announcements from the White House and from Department of Homeland Security. However, we do not have all the detail, but here's what we know so far. So the requirements will be you have to have continuously resided in the United States since June 17th, 2014, meaning you've lived in the United States for at least 10 years as of June 17th. You were physically present in the U.S. on June 17th, 2024. So as of June 17th of this year, you have to have been here physically in the United States. You have to have been legally married to a U.S. citizen as of June 17th, 2024. So for people who are married in the future, it's not going to benefit them. This program is designed for people who entered the United States without admission or parole and don't have any lawful immigrant or non-immigrant status right now. It is a requirement that you have not been convicted of any disqualifying criminal offense. Now, we don't have any detail about what that means, and that they may list out certain offenses or certain categories of offenses in the Federal Register notice, or maybe it's just going to be a case-by-case determination. We don't know yet, but I think we can be confident that they will be giving us more detail in the Federal Register notice, and we know that you're going to have to start collecting or obtaining records of your any arrests or criminal convictions that you might have had. Then they say that you must not pose a threat to national security or public safety, and that you merit a favorable exercise of discretion. Basically, that means that you deserve this, that you're a person, sometimes they say of good moral character. It doesn't sound like that's going to be a technical requirement, but that you're a person who deserves this as in the agency's discretion. Finally, I want to get to kind of the timeline, what we're looking at, and I think this is a real key part for people to consider, because I think a lot of times when a new immigration program rolls out, it might be a decent idea to kind of wait and see how things go, and then see if it's something that you want to apply for. See how the immigration agency is handling things. I think in many cases, that's not going to be the case here. I think that there's likely to be real advantages to filing as soon as that eligibility window opens up in late summer. Again, we don't have a date yet. And the reason that I think that is just because of the timeline looking forward. There are a couple of things that could put this program into jeopardy. First, it's sure to face legal challenges from states or other parties who are trying to block the program. That always happens. I'm actually optimistic that this program will survive any legal challenges. You never know, but I'm optimistic that it'll survive those challenges, that it won't be enjoined. But even if it survives legal challenges, this program, remember, is a creation of the Biden administration. Which means any future president, if we have President Trump again, starting January 2025, can just cancel the program. And former President Trump, I should say, has already announced that he just wants to rip up the program as soon as he takes office again. Well, we don't know how the elections in November are going to go, but let's just say it's a 50-50 shot. So there's a 50-50 shot this program will not exist, even if it survives legal challenges after mid-January 2025. Well, if they're accepting applications starting in late summer, so let's say sometime in August, and we'll assume that they put a lot of resources into adjudicating these quickly, then they only have about 5 months until Inauguration Day. And if it's that 50% chance that President Trump is coming back into power, you will only get any benefit from this if they approve it before the program is canceled. Otherwise, it's just going to likely be canceled by the new president. You won't get any benefit from it. So that means if they say 500,000 people around the country are eligible for this, it's going to be a real race to get this approved by mid-January 2025. And for that reason, for our clients, we are just going to commit to trying to have these applications ready and in immigration's hands on day one of the program being open. Again, we don't know when. That likely is going to be in August. And for that reason, we want to start getting prepared as soon as possible, just to make sure that that we are in early on that window to give our clients the best chance of actually getting an approval. And the advantage to having an approval is even if the program is canceled after you receive this parole in place, you're going to be eligible to adjust status, because what the law says is that if you have been paroled, then you're eligible to adjust status here in the country without leaving. It doesn't matter if the program was canceled after it was approved, you're already eligible. And so this importance of filing early, I think, is just going to be more and more clear. I want to kind of sum this up by saying we're really excited. I feel like a big part of the job of an immigration lawyer is doing consultations with people and often telling them, hey, there's no good options for you right now, or this option is going to take however many years and the outcome is uncertain. Well, we have new options for people, and these options are really going to improve people's lives. I want to encourage people to consult with an immigration attorney. If you want to do a consultation with us at Joseph and Hall, just contact our office, get it scheduled. We want to get as many people as we can ready to file early in that window and hope for approvals as soon as possible to get this process rolling. It's something that's going to, like I said, keep families together, be positive news, and make people have different futures. And we're really excited about it. With all that said, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to our office, and be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. We're going to have information coming out there on our blog, on our website, on social media. So be sure to follow along, because there's going to be more news coming out. Thank you.